So now we have reached the UK, and let me tell you, the UK's gun laws are complicated to say the least, mainly because each area of the UK has differing firearms laws. Probably the most prominent of these is that in Scotland you need a license for all air guns, and in North Ireland you can still get handguns legally. However, that aside, I am mainly going to keep this nice and simple. I encourage you to do your own research though, because it's quite extensive. Anyways, in the UK, you technically have 3 licenses. However, for the sake of this video, I'm only going to be focusing on the 2 most common sections, Section 2 and Section 1 firearms. Now let's start with the process of getting a Section 2 firearm, as that's easier and much more common. Well, surprise, surprise, it's not a simple process, and from the videos I watched researching this, it's actually quite daunting from an outside perspective. However, the best way to summarize it is it's not super straightforward due to all the different paths you can take to get it. Sorry, I can't emphasize enough how confusing the UK's gun laws are. Okay, from a source, I was able to have it broken down. First, you submit an application to your local police force, which involves 1 passport quality photo, and for a shotgun certificate, you need someone who has known you for at least 2 years that is not your family, so hope you at least have a friend who can vouch for you. Along with that, you need to do essentially a GP form, which from my understanding is pretty much you send that to your general practitioner who gives you the all clear. On top of all that, if you thought that wasn't already a lot more, there is more. You have to have a gun safe that is up to snuff, which essentially means it's gotta be bolted to a wall. Then, you also have to get an interview with an FEO, which essentially is somebody that handles firearm inquiries. They will see if your firearm storage is up to snuff, and then on top of that, will interview you and see your proficiency in your knowledge of handling a firearm safely. Then after all that your license may or may not be granted to you. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, let's break it down. Starting with the monetary costs. In total, these are hard to get a read on, but let's just say even at its cheapest, it's still quite a lot. The license cost, from what I could gather, is £79.50. The cheapest approved safe I could find is £123. The costs add up alone to £202.5, and that's not even considering sales tax or VAT. As it's stated in the UK, chances are I am underestimating some costs here as well. To my Canadian viewers, that in CAD is easily over $300 Canadian. The logistical costs are a nightmare, as essentially you need to live in a place where it is possible for you to have a gun safe bolted to the wall. That not a possibility where you live? Well, the law might as well be telling you to stop being so broke. In terms of time, this is a rather time-consuming process in reality. Because I left out the steps, you have to prove a reason for possessing a firearm, which arguably the best way is joining a skeet shooting club. Oh, I should have added that to monetary costs, because that's going to be even more. The forms are even particularly challenging. It's more so the fact that you have to have someone come into your house to inspect your storage conditions, which is an incredibly invasive practice. I seriously don't know any other nation so far that this is a common practice, but I will see as I keep on this series. So because the UK is the only other country other than Canada I've done so far on this list, it blows Canada out of the water with the level of classism that it wreaks in their laws. Like, there's no other way to describe it. The sad part is, though, many people in the UK would just think it's for safety, when in reality it's literally, just to put it bluntly, trying to stop the poor from acquiring firearms and causing it to be seen as something only the rich and elites in the UK do. It's honestly sad, the level of classism that exists in the UK, that this is just a normal attitude. Anyways, next up on this list, we will be talking about Japan, which, boy oh boy, from the research I've done in the past on Japan, yeah, that's going to be a fun conversation.